Hi there, Jeffrey Rhoades from Experimental Homesteader, Exotic Gardening, and Sheri on Richerson.com. Please subscribe, hit that join button, join our membership. Well, didn't get some of what I wanted to get done today done. I had planned on going out to the barn, working in the barn, getting stalls cleaned up. Instead, I was on the side of the house by the driveway cleaning weeds. We completely cleared one area right beside the house of all the weeds and all the junk that had been piled up there. So the side of the house is cleared. Looks really good. Sheri went ahead and put down some weed cloth, and we're going to rearrange some stuff and put a few things over there on top of weed cloth. This includes wood racks, a couple of them, and our small little plastic shed that we have our electric lawnmower in. We did quite a bit of work. I also took out the air conditioner that was in the dining room window that we weren't using anymore. It still worked, but the thermostat controls had stopped working. So you could turn it on and you could turn it off, but you couldn't actually control the temperature on it. And it was a good sized air conditioner, and so you turn it on and it made the house chilly. If you left it on overnight, it probably got the house down to, 60 degrees or so. Cold. And, it wouldn't shut off on its own. So you had to, play with it, turn it on, turn it off, try and control the temperature. And it didn't work real well that way. Because we couldn't just, set the temperature. Because it had nice controls. When I first started using it, it had really nice controls. You could set it at, 72 degrees, and it would keep the house at 72 degrees. It would kick off once it got to that temperature. As soon as it got above, say 74, it would kick back on, cool it back down, kick off, and really, regulate the temperature well. But then it quit working that way, and it wasn't worth it. So we took it out of the window, closed the window. We've been using this little one behind me in the window and one in the laundry room. And the two smaller air conditioners have been doing pretty good. We need to put a couple more in, really, to do the house right. A couple of them upstairs, one in the upstairs up here, and one in the upstairs the other section of the house. And we would have, good temperatures, I think. But I got that one out. Struggled to get it to the street because we were getting rid of it. But just as I was getting out there to the street with it, because I was just kind of walking it out there, rotating it this way and that way to get it to move, because it was too heavy for me to just pick up and carry. But just as I was getting out there, there was a truck that drove past, and I saw that they basically were picking up junk. And it's like, oh, well, just missed them. And they circled the block and came back around and got it. So it was good timing. It was perfect. I was just getting to the end of the driveway to put it off to the side, and they pulled up. We loaded it into the back of their truck, and they were gone. So it was good. That worked out perfectly. Fireworks going off. Tonight was Marion's 4th of July fireworks. tomorrow evening is over in Gas City. So they try to do opposite nights, or different nights, rather than having competing fireworks. We didn't really sit out. We didn't watch this year. I mean, we can see it from the house. We go out the back area of the property, and we can watch the fireworks over the water department, and see most of it without any trouble. But we just didn't feel like it this year. We had some neighbors that were firing off a whole bunch of stuff right before the city of Marion started theirs. Right about the time that I was trying to get the animals put away. And of course, fireworks upset the animals. So I had Charlie outside with me for a minute, and the neighbor started setting off theirs, and he started having issues, so I had to let him back in the house right away. Once he was in the house, he was okay for the most part. He was still kind of upset, but it wasn't as bad. When he was outside, it was really bad. But we decided to grill some hamburgers tonight. We used one of the new Kingsford charcoals. It was a chili cumin, or actually cumin chili charcoal with mesquite. And it didn't really add as much flavor this time. The other stuff that we used, the basil, sage, thyme, really kind of smoked a lot and smoked the meat and gave it a lot of flavoring. This didn't. It smoked some, but not nearly what the other stuff did, and it just didn't really transfer as much of the flavoring. I was worried that it was going to transfer, too much, and that it was going to really irritate. Because the first batch that we did with the sage, it smoked a lot, and the smoke was right in my face the whole time, and I was tearing up and just having all sorts of problems trying to cook meat. And this stuff, it didn't smoke nearly as bad, but I was worried, since it had chili in it, that it was going to smoke really bad, and the smoke would have capsaicin in it and really irritate my eyes. Get a face full of that, and be like being hit with pepper spray. So I only wanted to do the hamburgers on that and see how they turned out before I committed to doing some steaks. And maybe have, stuff that was too hot to eat, spice-wise, or, that just didn't, have good flavoring. So I just did the hamburgers, and they turned out okay. They weren't bad, but they weren't as flavorful as what I was actually kind of hoping for, and that, I was kind of expecting based on the other charcoal that we used. But it was, it's an experiment. It was something different. The hamburgers were good. Sheri, of course, had hamburger with her tomato. She bought a tomato at a farm stand, and she sliced it up to go with her hamburger. And she really only needed about a third of the slice that she made for her hamburger, because the slice was it was massive, and the burgers were, a lot smaller than the slice of tomato. I could have probably done just a half pound of hamburger for one patty and made it about the right size for that tomato. Instead, I was doing quarter-pound patties, and they kind of shrunk a little bit and, a little small. I made them a little thicker rather than flattening them out as much, so they weren't as big around, but they were a little bit thicker, because that's how I like my burgers. Overall, we got some stuff accomplished today, but we just, I didn't get the barn cleaned like I was intending. So tomorrow I'm going to have to spend, a little more time. I'm going to have to work a little harder to try and get some of the stuff done that needs to be done tomorrow. Also, the wonderful thing today, my van is giving me some problems. Last night we went out, and at one point the battery light came on. So we, did some stuff. The battery light went off. Battery light came back on, went off. So I was thinking, maybe it's just, a faulty switch or something, batteries, So today decided we'd take the van, we were going to get some drinks, and the battery light came on. Okay, so stopped at AutoZone, had him test the battery, and I was at like 41%. So decided we'd bring the van home, take the battery out, and take it back to AutoZone, have them charge it, make sure the battery was okay. So we did that, took the battery in, they charged it. They had it for, probably a good 3 hours or so on the charger. Went back up there, 100% charge. Battery's good, we're good to go. Bring it home, put battery in the van, decide to take the van back up to see if they can test the alternator and see if the alternator's bad. Well, he hooks up, tests the battery. I'm at 61% on the battery. Just driving from the house to AutoZone, I dropped 39% charge. So we're looking at, needing a new alternator, because the battery had tested good. It took a charge, but my system is not recharging the battery. I was thinking, the negative cable was loose or something, because when I first jiggled it, it was loose to the touch. And I had tightened it down good and was thinking, okay, this is good. But the battery light came on as soon as I was heading to AutoZone. So now, of course, I was running lights. I had my headlights on, because I tend to drive with my headlights on, just as a safety thing. Had the radio going, had the air conditioning going, and we had 2 cell phones charging. So a lot of drain on the battery. So I understand, it because it wasn't being recharged by the system, it's draining the battery quickly. But still, it's frustrating, that once again, my van is causing me problems. The battery, I checked it out, and we bought it a year ago, so it's still under the battery warranty thing. I mean, which is prorated, but it still should be a good battery. But alternator, at least that's my guess at this point, there's the alternator. And checked with AutoZone, they got one available, gave me the price. The shop that we tend to go to, we pretty much know if we go through them for it, could be the exact same alternator, but it's going to be like twice the price, because they basically have to do a markup. So we may be looking at buying the alternator, taking it to them, having them install it, rather than having them buy it and install it. But they don't warranty parts that we bring to them. So if we go through them, they warranty it. It's like a year warranty. If they install it for us, they don't warranty. So it's a back and forth, make a decision. But anyways, I think that's going to do it for tonight.
What are we making a decision on?
Oh, whether we buy the alternator and take it to the shop or whether we buy through them.
Oh.
Because if we take it to them, they don't warranty it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
If we buy through them, they warranty it. So,
yes, but we can't get our own warranty on it.
Yeah. I mean, AutoZone gives a warranty. There's a 1-year warranty on it through AutoZone. So it's just, it's this or that. Anyways, please subscribe. Give us thumbs up, thumbs down, comments below, and we will see everybody tomorrow. Have a happy 4th of July tomorrow. Stay safe out there.